My name is Melissa, and Zach and I dated for 1.5 years, and this movie made me realize that I was over him.
Oh, man. Hello, my name is Zachary Dial, otherwise known as ZZ, and today I'm going to be asking my ex questions about the movie Obsession. Was there any moment that Bear reminded you of me?
No.
Fuck yes! Let's go.
He does remind me of a lot of other insecure men, though. And honestly, Zach, if I think you ate Cass, you would also react the way he did.
I'd like to say thank God that Bear did not remind her of me. I try very hard to not be insecure like that, so that was very kind of rewarding to hear. You know, even though we're broken up with, it's good to hear that I'm not a complete asshole or, you know, stupid douche. So that's cool. I love that. What was the scariest part of the movie for you personally?
I don't think it was as scary as I thought it would be. I'm not a horror movie person, and I thought this would make me lie awake at night thinking about Nikki or whatever, and it did not. I think the scariest part was the possibility of being a Nikki to someone. I've just had my run with an avoidant relationship, an avoidant person, and I just didn't want to be their Nikki. Yeah, I think this movie explores a lot of important themes of relationships and codependency that are very prevalent in modern dating, and I just didn't want anybody to think of me as... Yeah, I didn't want to be thought of in this movie, if that makes sense.
I think she's crazy. No, not crazy in that way, but like, you know, I don't know how the movie didn't even scare her. She's built different, I guess, but I get the whole, like, not wanting to be seen as Nikki because I can speak on that relationship that she, you know, kind of tried to pursue after everything, and everything happened between us, and you know, as her friend, I just didn't want her to get hurt, and I think she is absolutely not obsessive in that way. Obviously, it's kind of unrealistic, but there's still realistic elements to it. But I understand the fear. I feel like the fear for me from this movie comes from not wanting to be this way. So I understand kind of where her headspace is coming from in that way. Did you ever feel like post-wish Nikki while you were with me?
I think part of this movie freaks me out because I know myself and a lot of other women have had experiences like this where they act like Nikki in some way, and because the movie is named Obsession, it feels obsessive and it makes us look deeper and think about, oh, like, hey, were we the obsessive girlfriend? Were we the crazy, insane ex? A lot of it relates, right? Like, her saying that she doesn't feel like he's as in love with her as she is with him, like, that's a very universal feeling. Her wanting to make lunch and dinner for him, right? Like, I would do that. I would want to sleep with my partner as well at night if I'm feeling scared. But, like, obviously in a very stripped back way, where, you know, it's just a feeling of wanting to fill that hole of loneliness or to have someone around you, but not necessarily in a way of, you know, needing someone in a codependence, like, parasitic way almost.
I think her response to if she ever felt like post-wish Nikki is kind of interesting because it's something that the director and India herself, the actress for Nikki, kind of expressed, where they wanted multiple moments of post-wish Nikki to still be relatable, even though she's kind of moving in these inhuman ways and things are kind of, you know, getting out of control really quickly. There's still so many moments that I still felt like was very relatable.
Where whenever I read the script, I was like, I know exactly how to play this. I know exactly how she feels.
I think one relatable moment for me, actually, as Nikki, was specifically when me and Melissa were first together. I was a little bit, this is getting a little bit more personal, but I was a little bit skittish to kissing, anything, you know, around that. And so her kind of like freaking out, all of a sudden going back and then apologizing and getting really upset about it. It honestly even spoke to me, even as a man, because, you know, it's just, it can get very freaky in relationships, even with a healthy one, like I feel like me and Melissa had. So I think it's very understandable to relate to a lot of things that post-wish Nikki did, even if those things started to become a lot more insane and out there, and, as she says, theatrical. Do you think there's a difference between love and romance?
I think what I can say about this movie is that it's a love story and not a romance. But I don't really know what that means. Love fills the hole of loneliness, but romance fulfills it with something worth more. But looking into it, it's all semantics. It's just words that usually don't come together and people aren't picking apart, and you know, it's the context that matters and everything around it and all the other people and conditions that happen in the environment, and so I don't think it really matters in that situation.
Melissa's response on maybe the whole love story versus romance thing, I don't like quite fully align with, but I kind of see what she's saying, where she feels like Obsession actually is a love story. Maybe romance can fill that loneliness void even more. And I definitely have, like, I can understand that because there's a lot of romance, you know, stories or instances in real life that feel so rewarding. But also I think I'm more so in line with how pre-wish Nikki is in the actual film. Especially now after me and Melissa's relationship, where I'm so not taken aback on relationships, but more so just like a realist about them, where I'm like, I don't know how long it'll take me to like feel love or that romance again, but I feel like if I'm with someone for long enough and we really make it work for long enough, then it can be a love story. But I don't really know if I fully believe in romance anymore. But that's from a personal spot. I feel like romance can be healthy. Obviously, this movie shows romance in a very unhealthy way. You know, like Melissa said too, at the end of the day, it is just words. But I think it's very interesting kind of diving deep into what these words mean in context of this story. So that's my responses to everything that Melissa said about me. I'd like to thank Melissa for coming out and participating in this. I think it's a really kind of funny but also insightful thing that this movie can kind of bring this conversation to life. I appreciate you watching this video. Be on the lookout for other Obsession videos coming out because I fucking love this movie and I'm gonna talk about it more. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.